Moose here with the Blissey guide you've been looking for. This guide will assume you have a basic understanding of Pokemon Unite as a whole, what the rules of Pokemon are, and a good grasp of held items and their effects. This guide will go over all the details to Blissey, including the most important levels to achieve, held and battle items tier list, very cool tier list that involves the usefulness of the new egg toss in every Pokemon in the game, and some more that we'll be talking about later. Now first we're going to start with the passive. Every 6 seconds Blissey will automatically cleanse himself, but Cure will automatically activate even if there's no active debuffs. So this is really good passive. I really enjoy it. I don't believe it actually cleanses knockups from what I've seen, but it will get you out of slows, stuns, stuff like that. You can't really force it to be triggered, you know, it's kind of random, but you know, at least when playing the game, but you can kind of keep track every 6 seconds. Okay, my boosted all is going to be coming up, so I should be able to cleanse something if I do get hit by something and have to face tank something for an ability for a teammate, you know, for example. The basic attack and boosted attack is really good. If you take a look at the scaling really quick, you can see that basics, I mean, it's kind of a little average even for a melee character, but the boosted auto is really good, especially with Helping Hand. If you want to run Helping Hand, you'll always have boosted autos for like about 3 seconds. So it's not bad. It's good damage if you can hit people, and it's not bad for taking camps. Pound is really good for an early game secure. Pound boosted auto does really good damage. Let's just say like level 1 to 3. It does 500, 600 at most before held items. So it's not really, you know, it's just good move. Slows them by 40%, so it could catch people off guard. Slow them if you can combine that with slow smoke and get some early kills. Egg Bomb, Helping Hand. Now with the Egg Bomb buff, where you can get 2 reserves, and if you take Soft Boiled, you get another 2 reserves, and Soft Boiled Plus gives you another 1 reserve, so you can get up to 5 reserves on either Egg Bomb or Soft Boiled, and they will hold a similar reserve. So you'll have 5 if you use 1 Egg Bomb and 4 Soft Boileds, you're out of reserves. But I really enjoy the new mechanic of Egg Bomb and Soft Boiled, because it can let you do 5 offensive or 5 defensive moves, and they all have a 2-second cooldown afterwards as long as you have reserves. And if you have both Egg Bomb and Soft Boiled, the cooldown goes down to 8 seconds for 1 charge. Otherwise it's 12 seconds, I believe. I might not be perfectly correct on that, but they kind of like shorten the cooldown a little bit. You'd have to try it and see. I really enjoy the new mechanic. Egg Bomb hits really hard and people don't expect it. At the level you're going to be learning it at 6. I take Egg Bomb and Soft Boiled now. Does 1000 damage before any held items. And I'll talk about some other stuff with the held items that I personally run on her, so this damage will be a lot higher. And if you get, I'd say like you end the game around level 12 and 13 with the XP share. Probably be looking at like 1.3k. It's really not bad. Some characters don't have that much health or defense, so that could be like after, say, the base mitigation of like 30% damage reduction. That's still like 850 damage. It really isn't bad. And it's not hard to hit because of how long it lasts on the floor. It kind of does a splash and it sits there in a little area for like a whole second, and if they run into it, they get hit and tossed. It kind of reminds me of Slow Smoke, how it'll last there for a while. The animation doesn't really look like it'll hit them, but if they walk into it after you use it, it'll hit them. It's really good. Now Helping Hand, I used to always run Helping Hand, but now since the buff, I'm running Egg Bomb Soft Boiled. There's still merit to doing a Safeguard / Helping Hand build with Decidueye maybe, or Cinderace or Greninja, you know, if you want to lane or expect the late game to be a Helping Hand ADC oriented, since with her ult she can really make somebody strong, and we'll go over that later. So Helping Hand is 35% attack speed for yourself and allies. For yourself specifically, all your attacks are boosted, but after it expires you lose any boosted attack that was granted, so you'd have to wait for your passive to reproc in order to get the boosted again. And in level 12, they kind of swapped it. It used to be that at level 10 you'd get Helping Hand plus, but I feel like this is a bit of a nerf to Helping Hand, since that level 10 power spike isn't that hard to hit. You probably get it around the 6-minute mark in the game. If you're, you know, level 10 is not too hard to hit with the XP share, but once you're trying to get to level 12, that's not easy. That's basically like the end Zapdos fight. So I do like because of that change where they swapped the levels, I do prefer the soft boiled now, since at level 10 you'll get an additional charge, while Safeguard Plus will only give you more shield, which is not bad. Don't get me wrong, more shield is good. It's like a 10% buff, which for shields is very nice. It's always good to have shields in this game, because you cannot lifesteal off of shields. And I will always say that in every video I ever make in my life. And let's go on move Heal Pulse. Doesn't really heal that much. Level 1 to 3 is when you'll be using it. Heals 4 times. But it's like 400 health, because it is a 4-time tick. Then, you know, doesn't have much special attack, so if you add like 30 special attack from like maybe one item, be healing like let's just say like about 430 with like lens, which I will talk about later. Soft boiled, I love soft boiled. Learn at level 4 does 500 plus 200 times 2. That's 900 after a held item, probably like 1,000. Then I'd say like 12, 13, you'll be healing someone for 1,500. After the held item, maybe like 1,600, 1,700. It's really good, and now that with the egg bomb change, you can do this up to 5 times in a row and really give someone crazy health. It makes her so strong as like a dual partner. Safeguard is still really good though, don't get me wrong. Removing hindrances, knockups, anything. It's honestly crazy. If you ever played Smite as a character called Geb, and I play Geb in that game, it reminds me just of Geb. Just giant shield, remove CC, just a giant FU to whoever's fighting the lane partner. Really good against slow smoke if you're going to go against a team, maybe in a tournament that you know runs a lot of slow smoke or has super heavy CC comp. You could definitely go with a Safeguard helping hand build. That's not bad at all. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't go Safeguard now after the change. Just because everyone seems to prefer Egg Bomb now with soft boiled doesn't mean that Safeguard isn't going to be used. Now, her ult is a really long charge, 134 seconds. That's 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 14 seconds. You gotta understand that the latest you're probably, or like, the latest you can really ult is at the 6 minute mark, so when there's 4 minutes left on the clock. And you gotta get about 3 camps to have your ult back at Zapdos. If you're ulting at like 3:30 for like the last Rotom, there is merit to it, but just know your ult is very influential in a team fight. It's insane. So we'll go over it now. You give them a shield, increase their attack by 20% for 6 seconds, both attack and special attack, so it doesn't matter who you hit, Gardevoir, Greninja, doesn't matter. And they also, all the damage that they take, 50% of that is turned into damage that Blissey will take instead, which Blissey is very tanky. Not on the defensive side, don't get me wrong, but she will be able to take that damage for whoever gets targeted. So the way you could think about it is, okay, if I use this on Decidueye, I'm basically doubling their health because I'm taking half the damage that they're taking. And even with that, they'll probably die before you die because of how squishy they are. But as long as you're also healing them as well, soft boiled will hit you and the target that you selected. So if you think about it like that, soft boiled's kind of healing double if you're getting the most value out of soft boiled specifically. And I don't believe this damage or healing is actually affected by special defense, but I'd have to test that specifically. Just a note to make for anyone that wants to test that. And the damage on this is insane. Now she gets the ult at level 8, so we'll use the damage at level 8. It's 1981 damage. That's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. But it's not easy to hit an enemy. You gotta line it up between the target you're going to and the ally. So it's best used on melee characters like Lucario, Garchomp, people who are gonna always be in someone's face. You'll get the most value out of it there. If you're going for the damage route, of course, you want to use that in the Decidueye to let them run rampant if they're going Razor Leaf, or Greninja to let them go Smokescreen ult, X attack for like an 80% damage boost. It's insane what this can do combined with some other stat boosts. And the shield as well, let's say level 8 you use it, 2000 shield. Now, that is a lot. If you combine it with Safeguard right away, that's like a 3.4k shield on somebody. It's very hard to get through that much shield, especially if you combine it with Buddy Barrier. Now, this is after the patch, you know, Buddy Barrier got nerfed. It's still, you know, a really good item on supports. I don't know if I'm going to be running Buddy Barrier anymore. I'm still experimenting with the new patch. But I'm going to go over the most important levels for Blissey. Of course, everyone knows level 4, you get the first evolution. That's where you get the nice special attack boost for your pound to be hitting a bit harder. Level 6, you get Egg Toss. Level 8, you get Alt. And level 9 is one of the most important levels because you get the last bit of CDR. After that, all the rest of the levels are whatever. It's just stacking. So level 9 is your last main power spike with the CDR. And CDR is very good. When you combine that with, if you run Egg Bomb and Soft Boiled, it goes down to 8 seconds with it. As you can see, the cooldown is kind of accounted for. It'll be like 8 seconds, so it's very, very good. And I do run some cooldown items too, which helps. It'll be like a 7.6 second cooldown about, which I play the game a bit differently than everybody. I go for his full-on support, but there's a lot of ways you can run Blissey. So now that we went over all those and the most important things, we're gonna be going over the tier list. And then a personal tier list that I thought would be really fun for this specific video. So pretty much this is the held items, all the best items, as you know, EXP Share, Focus Band, Choice, Specs, Buddy Barrier, Lens, those are all really good. And then these are kind of like the technical things you can run if you prefer Score Shield, if you're having trouble getting scores off. Shell Bell if you want more cooldown, and also with Egg Bomb you get some nice healing out of it. Muscle Band, it's just good if you want to put more pressure on objectives. So it depends on a team comp. You know, if you have like a Garchomp, you don't really need to put too much more pressure on objectives. You can just run like more cooldown or ways to heal the Garchomp. Energy Amp, her ult can hit really hard, and that'll make her, you know, she doesn't really have too much special attacks, so that 21% is really significant. Also giving her more merit to using her ult, killing like a couple crabs, getting the ult back faster. It does help a lot, and it does let you get off like a third ult during some games, because you're probably going to be ulting twice a game on average. Depends on how quick you can reach 8 and then how quickly you can find a time to use it. Because of how long the cooldown is, you got to be kind of careful with how you use it. You know, you could use it on a teammate that might just run away from the battle. You could use it on the tank, and it's a lot of uses for Energy Amp, so don't count that quite out yet. Assault Vest, it could be changed later in the future. Blissey has a lot of health, so Assault Vest is good, but I think there's just better items. But in case this gets a buff, you know, I'm putting it here just in case. Then these I don't have to talk about, those are all just trash items. So how I would personally run Blissey right now, EXP Share with the Lens and then Focus Band. I think that's probably in kind of optimal setup because of how much special attack you can get from the Lens, and her scaling is really good with the healing. Can't find the dang thing, so it's 200% plus 80% times 2, 360%. So every stack of Lens is giving you like 40 more healing, which doesn't sound like a lot, but with how quickly you get the cooldown back, it's really good. So I love stacking on Blissey. But I've been recently also experimenting with an EXP Share, Shell Bell, Energy Amp build for the max cooldown, and just kind of play like a passive supporter, just full healing anybody that gets, you know, they go in, go out. That's really fun, especially with the Lucario, where they can get in and out really easily and you can just heal them and they go back in. I love that so much. And it's not easy to catch you either, because with Egg Bomb you'll be able to just throw somebody off of you. So I love Egg Bomb. I love the character now. She's probably going to be one of my true mains, along with Sylveon and I guess still Lucario, the Decidueye. I really enjoyed the new Blissey, I have to be honest. So for battle items, of course, Slow Smoke, probably the item you're going to use the most. Just the early game pressure you could put on when in the first Audino, if you go in bot lane, or the Crab top lane, you know, the first fight that breaks out, with Pound slowing by 40% for 2 seconds. That combined with Slow Smoke will slow somebody forever. I've done some dual lanes with the Garchomp, and doing that setup into the Garchomp, you know, having full stacks going into the battle, because, you know, you're clearing the first couple camps as you go down the lane, and you keep your stacks up from on the first monkey. When you go to the crab, you have all the stacks, and you immediately can just go crazy if the enemy is also right there. I combine that, or if you want to run potion, you can. I love potion. Heals for a lot because Blissey's HP, as you can see, it gets up to 10,000. She's got really good scaling on health. Even at level 4, she's got 4.4k. So potion will heal for 1k, and it has a really low cooldown. I think people sleep on potion. Yeah, you could be like, oh, you could run X speed and get out of slows, which I run X speed when I go helping hand, or you can go this. Even though her passive, you know, cleanses stuff, sometimes you just want to, like a telekinesis, you know, from Slowbro, you'd want to run this in certain matchups. Absolutely, never count full heal out. And now eject button, it's not really that good on her. The best use for it is dodging something that will kill you, but you should be face tanking, or eject buttoning to get to an ally that, you know, needs you to ult on them if you're just out of range. That's the best use for eject button, or going over a wall. That's it. But I would much prefer just slowing, you know, 3 people with a slow smoke and the team just collapses on them, or having potion, just being able to sustain more, get more soft boileds out, more egg tosses, XP to get out of like enemy slow smokes, you know, because you're gonna be playing the front line most of the time, and it is important to understand that your life is less important than everybody else's. As a supporter, that's the mentality you have to have. You have to throw away your life for everybody else, and not really many people know that. If you sacrificing yourself means that you know, everybody else will live, you do it at 100% of the time. You're going to be under-leveled. You don't want the level 12 to die when you're level 9, you know? It's just how the game is. And Fluffy Tail, I've taken it sometimes and tried it. It helps you, you know, get your ult back when you're later in the game. Helps for some objectives securing, because her scaling isn't too bad, so she scales nicely with Fluffy Tail. Or Goal Getter. I mean, you can if you want to. You know, that's up to you. If you feel like you're having trouble getting goals off, it's kind of a long cooldown, and doesn't really have any mobility to warrant using Goal Getter more, so yeah, I would skip that in the next attack. I mean, come on. Maybe down the future, if they buff her damage scaling, helping hand X attack and just slap the shit out of somebody, it'd be really funny, but apart from meme, I don't see anybody actually using this item seriously. Now the tier list I'll talk about, which is something I put together, which I'm very happy about, is a tier list that has a usefulness of Egg Bomb. You know, how good can you shut down certain Pokemon? Now I'll go over and start from the bottom. Clefable is broken. Don't mess with her. And the -1s to my +3, just, it's not really like matchup, it's just how much I dictate the usefulness of Egg Bomb. Venusaur, I mean, not really going to do much to Venusaur. He's going to be able to still have his cooldowns. Sylveon, kind of hard to hit Sylveon. She's kind of very mobile a lot of the time, and she's always moving, so not really too much usefulness. Her abilities will still be going off even if you hit her with it, so it's not really something someone you should be aiming for, really. And even if you knock her away, she can kind of still dash back in if she's going Mystical Fire. Or Hyper Voice, which is kind of outspace you, so not too useful. Cinderace, lots of mobility, not too useful. Aurora, lots of mobility as well, not too useful. Though sometimes you can screw somebody's Spark over. It's not really something you should rely on. Zoomeril, not too useful with how they play. Maybe if they go Whirlpool, it'd be at least like +1, but I've not really seen much Whirlpool in competitive play. So if they go on Aqua Tail, maybe with the changes to Zoomeril, Aqua Tail might be a bit different, but maybe if we see Whirlpool, Egg Bomb would be even better, just to get, you know, keep a Zoomeril off your allies. Blastoise, lots of CC immunity, so not very good against them. So once his stuff is down, it's a lot easier to kind of keep him away. Make sure there's an ult on the team. Trevenant, really good character now, I have to say. I might make it, my next build might be on Trevenant with the changes. I'm loving Trevenant too. Not very useful on him, lots of CC immunity. Greedent, lots of CC immunity. Though he did get changed, so now he can be slowed during the COVID, so there is that. So you can keep that in mind, but overall not really much usefulness. Mammal Swine, it can be good, you know. He has his jump, he has Ice Pull, Ice Fang, or Y horsepower, but you can catch him out sometimes once his abilities are off, more so than like Blastoise, you know. Easier to catch out a Mammo. Blastoise Surf goes really far, but Mammo can't go that far that quickly. Hoopa, if they have Trick, they have a burst movement speed, so it can be hard to hit, but if you get them in like a loop with Egg Bomb, or Egg Bomb Plus, it can be really good. Alolan, no mobility, but kind of hard to hit sometimes because of how they'll space. They go Aura Veil, it is really easy to hit them, but if they go Blizzard, after the Blizzard changes, I don't think people will be going Blizzard, but if they do go Blizzard, it'll be a bit harder to hit them, so that's why I'm going to keep her at neutral. Crustled, Fast Crab, I think the change to Stealth Rocks being able to crit was reverted, so now he can crit again with Stealth Rocks. So that's cool, I'm happy for him, he deserves it. I think that's the least they can do, but not really useful or bad on him. Elagos can be hard to hit with Leaf Tornado speed, but you can catch out Elagos with some nice Egg Bombs. Decidueye, actually, I'm gonna put Decidueye at +1, I'll talk about him later. He's got no mobility really, so it's good on him. Snorlax, he can jump, or I'm gonna assume he's, you know, you're gonna be fighting a tank Snorlax with the jump block, because you know he can block it and stuff. So not really able to CC him. He can jump. It's hard to hit him. But if they're going Flail-Lax, it's a +3 hard counter. Just knocking him away from the team. If he's going Flail-Lax, so much value. That's insane. Because Flail-Lax wants to be on top of people, of course, like a Garchomp. So now the things that are good. Egg Bomb, Gengar, he was going to sleep build. You can force him to have to use it, you know, as an escape, hit a minion and take the minion out. Or if he's going Hex, force him to use Hex as a defensive tool to get away from Egg Bomb. You can kind of outspace Gengar with it. So I mean, Gengar can, yeah, he can always ult and get in, but these are kind of assuming no ult and stuff. Kinda like Charizard, if he's got ult, yeah, you can't really do much about that. I mean, you can heal through his ult, kinda. If you're healing somebody else, you can give somebody a lot of health and have them kill Charizard. But he does get some lifesteal in his ult, so you gotta be careful with that. But it is useful against him because keeping him away from the team, blasting him away when he's trying to chase someone down is really good. Aegislash, useful on him. His Boostagados in sword form will teleport to the target. So it's probably best when he's in shield form to keep him knocked away because he had to transform back after Sacred Sword, but I think it's useful against him, you know, he's a melee character, so keeping him away from allies with Egg Bomb is good. Slowbro, he's only really got surface mobility. If he telekinesis is an ally, you can Egg Bomb and, you know, get them out of it, so it is really good on Slowbro to throw the Egg Bomb at him when he's doing that. So it's useful on him. Pikachu, Decidueye, Gardevoir, Durludent has a technicality with his passive, Cramorant, and kind of Greninja. Well, no, not Greninja, Mr. Mime. They all don't really have mobility per se, so it's all useful on all of them, unless they go in Dive Cram. But messing up a Dive Cram's rotation with Air Slash, by throwing an Egg Bomb at them, will really piss them off. Because, you know, they miss an Air Slash, their cooldown's really long. So it's good against Dive Cram too. So no mobility really. Just really awesome. Durludent passive every 30 seconds. It's good to eat his passive, you know, so that way like a Blastoise ult can hit him or anything else that knocks up telekinesis, anything, Surf plus, whatever. Mr. Mime, same thing, no mobility really, so good against him. Just keep him away from the team, you know, he's trying to run in confusion, you can just knock him away. And it does really good chip damage. Greninja, he does have really good mobility, but he's very squishy. And if you can predict sometimes, one prediction just means Greninja's dead. No, Greninja has to play really well in order to not get killed too much. Greninja can always like smokescreen in when you can't see him and get on top of you. But as long, you know, you're always going to be with the team. So if you can CC him, and then once, he's probably going to die. And +2, these are really good against. I'm gonna put Dragonite the bot back because I've been seeing a lot of outrage Dragonite recently. He didn't get changed or anything, but maybe with the Buddy Barrier changes, he's better as like a pure offensive character now. I don't really think so, but I've been seeing a lot of outrage Dragonites, so keeping an outrage Dragonite away from getting his resets off, you know, auto attack and getting another Dragon Dance, really important. Even against Hyper Beam Dragonite, just keeping him away from the team too, it's just good, you know, just spacing. Serena, really good to mess up her rotations on with auto attacks, so kind of shuts her down, you know, slows her down a bit. It's good against her, but Champ, he does, depending on which way they go with the build, they might have more or less mobility, so being able to punch him around and knock him around is really good. But Champ does a lot of damage, so keeping him off of like a Cinderace is so vital in a team fight. Talonflame. Now, to the Talonflame changes, it's even better because he's not going to one-shot the Sujawai, he's going to leave him at 1 HP. So, as long as you can kind of react fast enough to like Brave Bird or predict a fly, you know, they're going to hold it all the way, try and run away, and you can throw an Egg Bomb preemptively sometimes too if you're really expecting it and can see him on the map going for the Brave Bird. So being able to screw over his combo with the Brave Bird, like Flame Charge straight away, or Brave Bird Aerial Ace, you know, whichever way he goes, really, really good against Talonflame. It's really good against Lucario too, because Lucario is usually pretty straightforward in what he does. He's strong. He's probably the best character in the game, definitely. But he's very straightforward for the most part, unless they're E-Speed. And I've been seeing a lot of Power Punch close combat recently, maybe because of the small E-Speed nerf, even though I don't think it's much of a nerf. You know, it just brings him slightly more closer in line to the rest of the cast. So it's good against him, you know, just screwing up his rotations and stuff. Most Lucarios will start off with Power Punch, boosted auto, close combat on a teammate. But if you can see that, you know, if he's charging a Power Punch, goes in, does a boosted auto, you throw the Egg Bomb, it'll screw up his close combat, so he won't be able to close combat, you know, at point blank range. He'll have to kind of hit it at a far range or find like a way to get back in. So it's really good against Lucario and screws him over quite a bit. Garchomp as well screws Garchomp over with Egg Bomb. He doesn't really have much mobility. You know, he's got Earthquake Dig or the Dragon set. Both of them have pretty long cooldowns, honestly, and not really a way to get them back. So once he goes in, if you just kick him out with one Egg Bomb, he's kind of dead. So Egg Bomb is super strong against Garchomp. I've not really had much Garchomp problems since the Egg Bomb changes. Now, hard counters, and I'll talk about Wiggly after, because I think I have a specific opinion against Wiggly. Absol, once you understand Absol's kit, you know, play him a bunch, maybe like 20 matches, understand what both of his kits do, or, you know, whatever people run, I don't care, Pursuit or Night Slash, you could really keep out an Absol, and he's really squishy too, kind of like Greninja, but if you could screw over his Pursuit, he's kind of done for in a team fight situation, or even like a 2v2. He could be very predictable like a Lucario. Once you understand how his kit works, and once you know which set they're running, you can predict and screw over and knock them out of like a Pursuit, or if they're going for the Night Slash, you can kind of just zone them out straight up. He's very good against Absol. I've not had Absol problems either, just with the new patch. Even early game, he kind of, I mean, well, before 6 he's Absol, but after 6 he just kind of gets zoned out. Now Wiggly Sing is a very strong CC tool. It removes defenses, it sleeps the target for quite a long time. Sing Plus even longer time, like, I don't remember, 2.25 seconds or something. Being able to Egg Bomb a Wiggly away is extremely vital, because they're always gonna pathfind straight towards, like, you know, the team or the squishy, the closest target. So Egg Bombing Wiggly is so easy, anybody can do it, and it really screws over Wiggly's game plan. Now Wiggly, I mean, she can always like ult and then run in with Sing after, but even so, you can kind of just, you know, repeatedly Egg Bomb. She gets hit, runs back in, Egg Bomb again, because you have multiple reserves, so you can keep pestering her out of getting to your team. so it kind of shuts down Wiggly so hard that I've not even really had much Wiggly problems. She hasn't really fallen off. I haven't seen her as much. Maybe with the Blissey changes, we'll be seeing more Blissey as a support. With an Eldegoss pairing, I'm not too sure. We'll have to see how the meta shapes. You know, the update just came out not too long ago at all, so we'll have to see that. But biggest takeaways from this video for sure: play with a team. You're a supporter. You're not a solo character. You're not meant to 1v5. You're not even meant to 1v1. You play with the person who's going to carry the team. You make sure that they live. You sacrifice your life over theirs, and you just have a good time. It's very fun to play Blissey now with the new changes, so I definitely recommend giving her a shot. Maybe try out my build too with... I'll just screw up my tier list just so I can show off my build that I've been running. You could try this setup for yourself if you'd like. If you feel like you want to have more fun and heal more, you can go with that. You might fall a bit behind in XP, but if you want to have the best technical soft-boiled heals, you'll be going with this. But I would recommend this. So every like 7.5 seconds you'll get a charge. It's a lot of fun. Anyways, maybe I'll make my Trevenant video next after this one. So any questions, leave them in the comments, please. I'll try and answer everything I can. This video probably doesn't look as good as my old ones because I'm using a new editing software. So I'm trying to get used to my new editing software. So thank you so much for watching though. I do appreciate it so much. Bye bye.